Our next punctuation is question mark. We all know what is question mark. It is used to ask a question. So when you ask a question, you will not put full stop, comma or anything else. You will always end the sentence with a question mark. Example, what is your name? Question mark. Do you miss school? Question mark. Next, we have the exclamation mark. It is used to express strong emotions and feelings such as happiness, sorrow, or surprise. So we know if it is a strong emotion or if it is a strong feeling. For example, it can be happiness, it can be sorrow, it can be surprise, it can be fear, it can be excitement, all these feelings. So for all these strong emotions and feelings, we use exclamation mark. For example, yuck, what an awful sight. Hooray, we won. So, in both the sentences, there is some strong emotion, whether it is a good one or a bad one. So, in these cases, we use exclamation mark. Second one is after a short order. Now, you're ordering someone, you're commanding someone in that case, and it should be a short order, not a very big sentence, a very short sentence order. Then only you will put exclamation mark. For example, just leave. I have lots of work to do. So just leave is an order and it is very short. So in that case you will use exclamation mark. Our next punctuation is apostrophe, that is a comma at the top. First one, to show possession. Possession means belonging, ownership, it is mine or it is hers. For example, the boy's car, which is singular noun, the boy's car, plural noun. In the first example, the noun boy is singular. So when the noun is singular, you put apostrophe after the noun. But if the noun is plural, you will put an apostrophe after the plural noun and you will not put extra s. Whereas in a singular noun, you will put apostrophe s. The second point is in contractions. Contractions means short forms. For example, did not. Now here I removed the O. So in the place of O, I put apostrophe didn't. Second one is it is. So I removed the I and in the place of I put apostrophe it's. So this is contractions. Our third point is to form the plurals of letters and figures. Now if you have letters A, B, C, D, E, F and figures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so on. In those letters and figures, the plurals of letters and figures, you will use apostrophe s. For example, sevens and f's. I have written 5 sevens on my first page. So you want to use numbers or letters to show the plural of these numbers or letters. Then you will use apostrophe s. Fourth point is to denote the omission of numerals. Now when you are removing a numeral, before you saw when you remove a letter, you will put apostrophe. Now I'm telling when you remove a numeral, you will put apostrophe. For example, 18 November apostrophe 20. So there I put apostrophe 20 or in other words I can say 2020, 2020. So instead of writing 2020, I put apostrophe 20 and we all know the date will be 2020. The next punctuation is colon, which is two dots. It is used to introduce a list. Now, when we are putting punctuation inside the list, we will use comma. But when it is to introduce a list, you want to begin a list, then you will use colon. For example, I know 4 languages. Now that is the sentences. I know 4 languages. It is a normal sentence. But if you want to give which are the 4 languages, then you will begin with a colon. After that, you will give the languages. English, comma, Hindi, comma, Gujarati and Arabic. Second one is to introduce something which is written in quotations. Now after a sentence you want to write a quotation. So to begin that, to introduce that quotation, you will use colon. For example, remember the old proverb, colon, inverted comma, honesty is the best policy, full stop, close the inverted comma. So you wanted to introduce that proverb, then you use the colon. The third point for colon is to indicate that the statement before the colon will be further explained. This means if you are writing a sentence and you want to give an explanation of the given sentence, then you will use a colon in between. For example, the teacher is so proud of her students. So this is the sentence given. Now you are going to explain about this sentence. You want to give a further explanation of this sentence, then you will put a colon and you will write they are hardworking and sincere. So if the second sentence is the explanation of the first sentence, then you will use a colon. Fourth one, to separate two contrasting statements. Contrasting means entirely different, opposite. So you want to separate two opposite statements or sentences, you will use colon. For example, Neha speaks more and listens less. Colon, Sheila speaks less and listens more. So these two people are actually opposites and you're giving two opposite sentences. So you will use colon in between. The fifth point is to separate units of time and ratio. Now you want to write the time 10:20 p.m. So in between 10 and 20, the hour and the minute, you will use a colon. Then in ratios, you all have learned ratio and proportion. In that, in ratio, 3 is to 4, that is 2 is actually colon. So these are the uses of colon. Our next punctuation is semicolon, which is a dot and a comma. First point, it is used instead of a full stop when two parts of a sentence are closely related. So first is you use it instead of a full stop. Now where do you use it? When two parts of a sentence. Now a sentence has two parts, that is two different sentences when they are very closely related. When they have very close relation, then you use semicolon. For example, I don't know who my grandfather was. Now this is the first sentence. I am more concerned to know who his grandson will be. So the same person is telling about his relationship. Okay, so both the sentences are actually related. So in between the sentences we will use semicolon. The second one is to separate two main sentences where the second sentence begins with nevertheless, therefore, moreover, otherwise, also, still, etc. Now this means if you have two sentences together and the second sentence begins with the given words like nevertheless, therefore, moreover, otherwise, also, still. If these words are used in the second sentence at the beginning of the second sentence, then before this sentence you will put a semicolon, not a full stop. For example, mother seemed annoyed, semicolon, therefore I stayed away. So before therefore I used semicolon. The last punctuation which we are going to learn today is quotation mark, or it can be called as inverted comma. The first point is it is used to quote exact words. Now the exact words or the same words the speaker has said, if you are telling the same words, then you will use inverted comma. For example, she said, comma, I am hungry. So I am hungry is actually the exact words of the speaker, she. So those words will be in inverted comma. The second one, to enclose title of short stories or poems. Now you want to give some short stories or poems in the sentence. So those short story, the name of the short story or the poem will be in inverted comma. For example, my favorite book is Harry Potter. Now Harry Potter is the name or the title of the book. So that will be in inverted comma. Third one, to emphasize a word in a sentence. Now you want to give importance to a word which is in the sentence, then you will use inverted comma. For example, the word faith has different meanings. Now I wanted to show the importance of the word faith. So then I used faith inside inverted commas. I hope all of you have understood the lesson. Uh, Please watch it again, like it. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.